What's up, guys? Welcome here to the first live episode of House Divided. Uh, Today's the day. Wearing my merch. Today's the day we talk about the big game we've all been waiting for. But first, let's go over the updated list. We'll pull it up here, and let's Jose put a lot of trust in the Chargers, and it did not pay off.
Yeah, they let me down. Not what I wanted to see from them.
Yeah, and of course, my lad McConkey didn't hit either because I can't hit anything. But hopefully, better week from both of us, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Still in the lead, so it's a win overall, but better things are coming from me, I'll say that, at least from me.
Speaking of the Monday night game, the Ravens were involved in that game. They're involved in another big showdown, the Birds showdown. Ravens versus Eagles. What you think of that game?
I mean, this offseason we talked about two big free agent running backs, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon is having a historic season, and I think the momentum that they've built over since they started kind of rough is a lot better than what Baltimore has had. They've been down a couple of weeks. They had the get-right game this week, but I think Philadelphia is going to come out on top.
Yeah, I got to disagree with you on this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Ravens. Lamar is like 25-1 or something like that against NFC teams because they don't see him as often. And I just think behind Lamar and behind Derrick Henry's going to have more yards than Saquon. I think so as well. And I think the Ravens are going to win in a close game, but I think the Ravens will take care of business in Baltimore.
I think Saquon, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith hopefully coming back. I think they take care of business. I like the defensive side. Quinion Mitchell is having a fantastic rookie season. So,
Okay.
Losing Brandon Graham hurts, but I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I disagree. I think Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, those boys, I can name drop people too.
Yeah.
We all can.
It's a big showdown.
I think they'll take care of business, but another kind of showdown that leading up this season looked better than it is, but could still have the potential to be a great game, is the Buffalo Bills versus the 49ers. Do you think Buffalo will continue to add to their win streak?
Absolutely.
And continue to add to the 49ers losing streak, or will the 49ers bounce back in Buffalo?
I don't think this is a bounce-back game. Even if Brock Purdy comes back, I'm taking Buffalo. They have a lot of momentum. They're playing great. They've beat great teams recently. And I don't know, I don't know how they'll look with Purdy back, and if he doesn't come back, whether it's Brandon Allen or Josh Dobbs, I'm taking Buffalo.
Okay. I'll agree with that. I think whoever's playing our quarterback, I think Buffalo's going to take care of business. They're really rolling, and they're one of the favorites. 49ers just with injuries, but also when they have been healthy, haven't been able to click it together, and I just think the Bills are the better team. They're at home. I think they'll take care of business.
Agreed.
Speaking of taking care of business, your Steelers could not accomplish that last week in Cleveland. Can the Steelers bounce back against the Bengals this weekend?
Yeah, they can. I think it'll be, again, a very close game as it has been with the Bengals all year. I do think the Bengals have the explosiveness on offense to overwhelm the Steelers. And I don't think the Steelers have the firepower offensively. We know that Bengals defense isn't great, but I don't like saying this, but I do think Cincinnati could pull this off.
Yeah, I saw Cincinnati's favored by 2.5 points in Cincinnati. I think it'll be a close game. The Steelers always play a lot of games close. I think it's going to come down to if Cincinnati can make a stop at the end of the game and their defense, and I don't think they will. So I am going to pick Pittsburgh in this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals pull this one out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. I'm really 50-50 on who wins the game, so we'll come. Just because of bias, I'm going to say Pittsburgh, but I really could see Cincinnati winning.
Yeah. All right. That concludes our segment for the NFL. Let's move on to some college football. Big dilemma I've seen on TikTok. Game day coming to our game. Bunch of South Carolina Clemson fans upset for some reason. They're saying, so should game day have gone to South Carolina Clemson? And what are your thoughts on that game?
No, so I'm going to start off. No, absolutely not. It shouldn't have gone there. The SEC is hosting the Lone Star Showdown revamped. It's the rivalry we've been looking forward to all year, and the stakes are just higher. We all know SC isn't going to make the SEC championship. They can't. And Clemson is very unlikely going to make the ACC championship. And this game has no stakes for that anyway. It's all in the Miami game. Meanwhile, the Texas and Texas A&M game both have a chance of playing Georgia in the SEC championship. And their only chance of getting in that game is by winning this game. They're the only two contenders left for that spot. And they're historic rivals that haven't played each other in over a decade. That's why I'm leaning towards absolutely not. And then overall, though, I do think this will be a great game. They're 12-15, as we saw the other day after the rankings came out. Great teams with good momentum. Clemson is currently one spot out of the playoffs, so they do need the big win. It'll definitely help them launch up, especially with some teams you could see losing coming up in a couple of weeks with the conference championships. They could end up finding themselves back up, so I think there's a lot of stakes there. But for me, I think it comes down to Cade Klubnik, and I think he's playing good football, and I think he's going to lead Clemson to a win.
Yeah, I hope Clemson wins. First of all, I agree with saying game day shouldn't even considered. I think game day knew, unless we were both having 4 wins or 5 wins, it was coming here last weekend, or unless somehow Michigan and Ohio State. But even then, the rivalry, one of the greatest rivalries of all time, finally coming back after 12, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stake, like you said, championship spot on the line, our season on the line. Game day, I don't know why people are complaining. It should have gone to Clemson, but they made the right choice. But I hope Clemson wins, obviously, because of Cade, and I like that team, but I'm actually going to pick South Carolina.
Yeah.
I think we saw Clemson against the 2 good teams, or 2 great to good teams, and they just got whooped. Obviously, one was Georgia and was kind of expected coming into that game, but that Louisville one at home at night, I think, was concerning, and they really haven't looked that great since then. They looked good from the Georgia to Louisville game, but then that Louisville game, they looked awful. And I think that South Carolina D-line with that freshman, I think Dylan Stewart, I think they're going to get to Cade, and Cade will have a good game, but I just think South Carolina will win in a close battle in Clemson.
All right, I mean, we're disagreeing more than we've ever had today. So that's not stopping. I'm letting you know.
Oh, really? It's not?
It's not, no.
Next game?
Unless you have a surprise plan for us later.
No, I don't. Next game we have is another championship on the line, but for one team, Iowa State. Can Iowa State punch their ticket to the Big 12 championship against Kansas State?
I think they can. I think they fell apart for a couple of weeks, but then they've bounced back. And Kansas State, while preseason were my favorite, they haven't shown that they're that great. So for that reason, I'm taking Iowa State.
I'll agree with you on this one.
Yeah,
I think Iowa State will take care of business. They're at home. Kansas State could still make the championship if they win, and they have some losses here and there. But I think Iowa State is going to take care of business there. And for the Cyclones, Rocco Beck's going to throw some good passes.
Yep.
And Avery Johnson has been playing good, but I think Iowa State is slightly better, and I'm just going to pick them, to be honest.
I mean, the Big 12 is chaos. 9 teams are still mathematically eligible to make the championship, so it's going to be a crazy weekend for them.
Yeah, but not a lot of, this is probably the biggest showdown.
Biggest showdown, definitely. Yeah. You got 2 serious contenders that are ranked.
Yeah, 22 against 20 or something like that, but it'll be a fun game to watch. Not a lot of great games, but that's one of the good ones. Next game we got is one of the greatest rivalries of all time. The
game?
Iron Bowl.
Oh, the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
The Iron Bowl.
The Iron Bowl. Auburn versus Alabama. What are your thoughts on that game?
1 week ago, I would have told you Alabama is absolutely destroying them. They're in Tuscaloosa this year. Another year in which they've looked somewhat they'd had a lot of momentum recently with the big wins against LSU, etc. So I would have told you absolutely Alabama was sweeping them. But things changed on Saturday. Alabama got lost by 21 to an unranked 6-5 OU team, and Auburn won an overtime game against Texas A&M. So now I'm thinking we're looking at a closer game here, a standard Iron Bowl like we did last year when we thought Alabama was a great team, playoff lock, and Auburn was nothing, and they took it to the end. I think we see that again, but I do think Alabama wins it again. Not with something freaky like the 4th and 28, but just Alabama wins a close one.
I agree with you to some extent. I'm going to go with Alabama, but in a big way. I think they're going to bounce back after that horrible loss and show people that they're actually that good. And then I think Auburn's going to have a little bit of a letdown after a great weekend. They're going to have a little hangover from partying too much that Saturday night. And I think it's just going to be a beatdown in Tuscaloosa. And, I mean, I think it would be close for the first quarter, but after that, I think Bama wins by 21, 28, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We agree on Bama winning there, but that's about it.
Yeah. Now,
the game.
No, I don't want to talk about that game. We all know Ohio State's going to win. Now, the rivalry everyone's been waiting for. The reason we made this podcast. One of the biggest games in A&M history, probably one of the biggest, not one of the biggest in Texas history, but one of the biggest games they've had. Obviously, they had the semifinal, but compared to that, one of the biggest games they've had in a while to make the conference, the SEC championship in their first year. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's not one of the biggest games ever. I mean, we've won national championships, so.
No, I'm saying besides that.
Just got to point
I said
that out.
in a while.
Okay.
It's been since 2007. You were a baby.
Wait,
you weren't even a
wait.
Texas fan. You were a Michigan fan
When was your last one?
this year. You were a Michigan fan in 2007, so don't even start with me.
Okay. Texas is going to win. That's all. Texas is going to win. It's going to be a big win. Kyle Field at night it's like right now. I'm in peace. There's a little waterfall. It's relaxing.
Don't
That's what.
say that. I'm actually shocked Quinn hasn't said anything about the sound. Because
No,
do that,
he knows he knows he can't say that. He knows
Yeah.
he can't say that.
I think it's going to be crazy. I think we're going to win. I don't think we're technically the better team. I think we're a little lower tier team than Texas, but I think home field is going to be the biggest thing. Night game, we saw, like I said last time, there's only been 2 teams that come in on the road at night in the SEC and won a game, and that was Georgia.
Peyton Thorne
that was Georgia at Texas, and that was and Bama at LSU. Yes, Peyton Thorne diced us up, but I think we'll make some adjustments. We'll stop the run better against Texas, and I think we'll win. Honestly, I think. We have 30,000 students don't even have a seat. They're standing room only. So that's about 110,000 fans.
Like every stadium isn't standing room only.
Yeah, but normally students get a seat. They have
you
no
actually
seat to
see
sit.
it at your student section?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like we get assigned seats. It's the whole half of the stadium's the student section, and we ran out we have 4 days to pull tickets. We ran out the first day, after a day and a half. The rest of the people got 30,000 tickets for people standing, not in seats, around the stadium, standing room only. They don't have a physical seat. It's going to break the record for our attendance. It's going to be one of the loudest environments of all time.
Most expensive regular season
Power.
ticket of football all time.
Yeah, power is going to come on. Everyone's going to get rowdy. 6:30, people have time to get turned up before. Yeah, I think we're going to win. I think our D-line's finally going to turn up and get to Quinn. You guys have looked terrible against bad competition. Obviously, we looked worse against Auburn, but besides that, we taken care of business against some better teams. You guys have the worst strength of schedule in the whole conference. Against Arkansas, you look shaky. Against Kentucky, you looked a little bit shaky. If Kentucky wasn't, Brock Vandergrift wasn't giving y'all the ball and doing stupid stuff, they probably would have won that game. And I think you looked shaky against, what's another team you looked awful against? Vanderbilt. you've just looked shaky all season. The Michigan, I'll admit, that was impressive going into the big house and winning like that. But besides that, I haven't looked at a Texas game and been like, damn, this team's really good.
We blew out OU, the OU team that just beat Bama.
Yeah, but that's an anomaly. It's also the OU team that got absolutely killed by South Carolina at home.
The South Carolina team you got destroyed by.
No, we lost by 7, but they ran up the score with 4 minutes left.
That is not losing by 7.
Yeah, but that was a one-possession game the whole game. So you're saying, like, if we're keeping it tied or one possession or leading, and when 3 minutes left they put up 14 points, it wasn't a close game? You're only counting those last 3 minutes?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No. But you can't say it was a 7-point game. It was a.
Well, no, I said it was 3. You said we got killed. I explained.
Yeah.
The score wasn't what it actually portrayed during the game.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I mean, there's not a single position in which you're better than us.
That doesn't matter. There wasn't a single position Oklahoma's better than Alabama, and they still killed them in Oklahoma. There wasn't a single position.
Peyton Bowen.
Who?
Peyton Bowen.
I don't know who that is.
No.
But, no, I think home field matters a lot, especially at night. And I think we're a little below on our talent. Not even talent, just overall team. And I think we'll take care of business. It'll be a close game, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say we're going to come in and kill you guys. But I think it'll be a 5 to 7 point game. 3 to 7 point game win for the Aggies.
I think I'm in the same range. I think 7 points is good, decent, but definitely a Longhorns win. Eyes of Texas, College Station bleeds orange, all that stuff.
College Station does not bleed orange.
It will Saturday.
Nope.
It will.
Anyway, let's move on to our headlines and best bets and fantasy explosion players. You can go first. Go ahead.
We'll start with my fantasy explosion players. I got a stack this week with K. Dotton and Baker Mayfield. They're facing off against a Carolina defense that is very bad against the pass, but they're especially bad against tight ends. They're 32nd against the tight ends, allowing most points per game against the tight end. And Baker Mayfield has had a couple of good games, and I do think they take advantage of that weak Carolina defense. But on the other side, for my third fantasy explosion player, they're going to be playing down that entire game, and I got Xavier Legette as my third fantasy explosion player, and I put in all my eggs in this game's basket.
Interesting.
Yeah.
One game thing.
One game thing.
My fantasy explosion players, I got Cooper Kupp, projected 14.7. New Orleans ranks 26 against wide receivers, and he's gotten this like the 5+ projection 4 out of 6 games this season. And then my next one I got is A.J. Brown, 16.5. Again, a play against the Ravens pass defense. I think he'll get a touchdown, and then he'll get a bunch of deep passes. And lastly, I got Bucky Irving at 12.5, going against Carolina's awful run defense. And he's gone the 16+, which would be the 12+, 5 out of the last 6 weeks, and his volume has just been increasing, and he'll have another big week after this great week he just had.
All right. I'm going to start us off with our headlines. I'm going to go Dolphins can't swim in the tundra. 2 is terrible in the cold. We've seen that since college. I think the weather app right now says they're scheduled to play at 28-degree weather. I don't know if it's going to snow. I don't know if it's going to rain. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know it's going to be cold, and I can't trust Miami to win, especially with a Green Bay Packers team that's very hot right now. They put the rock behind Josh Jacobs, and so I'm taking the Packers there. And then for my college football headline, I am taking the Blue Devils beat down. I'm taking Duke to win. I really like their matchup this week. I don't think Wake Forest is strong at all. We saw that last week. And Malik Murphy had a great throw. He's a great player since he's been to Texas. He showed potential, and I think they get it done this week.
Yep. Good. I got, for my NFL headline, I got Ravens win the Battle of the Birds. Kind of the stuff I talked about earlier. I think the Ravens will take care of business. And lastly, I got Aggies are the best team in Texas. Obviously, these two are the best teams in Texas, and we're going to beat Texas, so we're going to end up being the best team in Texas.
He hasn't hit a
I'll
headline in
explain.
like 3 weeks, guys.
No, I hit one last time. So.
Oh, sorry.
My headlines are 5-5 this season. That's the only thing not in the negative. But I'll move on straight into my best bets. I'm trying something new. I've been putting in a lot of research, and it hasn't worked. So I'm not going to provide stats today. I'm just going with my gut feeling because usually that's been right when I'm doing my research. Like the initial gut feeling is right. So I'm going to go with Indiana minus 29 against Purdue. I think Purdue's awful. They have one win. They're really bad. And Indiana's at home, and they're a bounce-back spot after Ohio State, and they're going to take care of business and blow them out and show the committee, like, hey, we do deserve to still be in here. Then I got USC plus 7.5 against Notre Dame. I do think Notre Dame wins this game, but they're going to get a little scare from their rivals, USC, and USC keeps it within a touchdown. And I got Kansas minus 1.5. I've faded them so much. It's kind of a fishy line at Baylor, but the other way around, like Kansas should be favored going in. But you saw what Kansas has been doing to the hopes of a lot of these Big 12 hopefuls. So I think Kansas is going to take care of business and beat Baylor and keep rolling. And lastly, for college, I got A&M money line. Leave the points at the house. We don't need those points. We're going to win. So get that extra money, get that extra juice, and yeah, A&M money line. And then for my only NFL bet, I got Commanders minus 5.5 versus the Titans. I think the Titans just had a big win, and the Commanders just had a bad loss. So I think they'll bounce back and take care of business and blow out the Titans.
For my NFL best bet, I got the Detroit Lions at minus 9. They're the best team in the NFL right now. Chicago has been in an offensive slump. Their defense has played okay, but this is Detroit we're talking about, and I think they take care of business tomorrow morning. And then for my college football best bet, we all know where this is going. Texas, minus 5. We're covering the spread. I think we win 7 is probably the range where I'm looking at, but it could be more. This Texas A&M pass defense is not one I like at all.
I don't like your pass offense.
We got Isaiah Bond going to be a first-round pick. Quinn Ewers is an elite quarterback.
Elite? Okay.
Yeah, he's an elite quarterback.
All right.
Yeah, he's been hurt.
Seems like he's been hurt.
He plays best in the big games. You saw that against Alabama. You saw it against Michigan. You saw it against Bama twice, actually. He's an elite quarterback. He's going to take care of business. Isaiah Bond, Golden, Gunnar Helm.
I wouldn't be shocked if Arch comes back. That's how bad Quinn's going to be playing.
Okay, another elite quarterback.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about him as the Heisman favorite.
Yeah, but
a year
what?
From now.
Oh, wait. I thought you said Quinn played great in all big games. What happened against Georgia? At home, dude. At home.
He was just coming back from injury. He'd only had one game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. I was just curious. But anyway, I hope you guys watched that big game. Hope you chirp whichever team you hope wins the other team in the chat. And I hope you guys enjoy this great weekend of college football and NFL. And thank you for watching.
And hook 'em horns.